Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and we are getting oh so close to the NFL season beginning and training camp. And I know you guys are just like me. We cannot wait until football season begins, and there is a lot to be discussed heading into the season. And today, that is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to do two parts. This part is going to be what storylines are we going to look for in each AFC team. I'm going to do an NFC team part 2 coming up later on. But today we're going to talk about a storyline from each AFC team heading into the 2024 NFL season. Let's not make this any longer. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I'm going to do this by division from last place to first place. And we're going to start in the AFC East, and we're going to talk about the New England Patriots. The storyline ahead for them is the development of Drake May and head coaches Gerard Mayo's first season post Bill Belichick era. Now, this team has basically been up top for the last 20 years. You could probably count out last two, especially last year. What we're going to look at heading into the season is basically during the season is how is Drake May going to develop? Because at the end of the day, this Patriots team, let's just face it, it's not really a team that is ready to win now. It's not a team in the division with the Jets, Dolphins, and the Bills that are ready to compete for any type of playoff contention now. So all this season for them should be about the development of Drake May and how are they going to progress with him going forward. I don't see any winning from this team. I don't see a ton of first year success. I don't see one of those Houston Texans run. So for the New England Patriots, the storyline is just the development of Drake May and head coach Gerard Mayo's first year post Bill Belichick era. Now for the New York Jets is how much better can they be with one, an improved offensive line, and two, a healthy Aaron Rodgers. Now we're talking about a Jets team on that offensive line that was not very good in 2023, and they let up a ton of sacks, and this year they went out and got better. Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, and they drafted Olu Fashanu from Penn State. How can this offense really compete and be on the same level with that defense led by Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, CJ Mosley, Quinnen Williams? How can this offense with unhealthy Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson from the Ohio State University, and then you went and signed Mike Williams in free agency? Let's not forget one thing the Jets did defensively, and that is go out and get Hassan Reddick for the Philadelphia Eagles. So this team is poised to be atop of the AFC East potentially. So the storyline is how much better can this team be with an improved offensive line and better quarterback play, assuming Aaron Rodgers is healthy, coming off of the torn Achilles that he suffered and play number 4 in his Jets career. Now, Miami Dolphins, can they finally remain consistent and atop the Buffalo Bills for the AFC East crown? Now, one problem with the Dolphins last year was injuries, whether it was Jalen Ramsey missed a ton of games to injury. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb had season-ending injuries. Jalen Waddle dealt with his own, and Devin Achane, he dealt with his own injuries. Raheem Mostert, he had some injuries. Can this team remain healthy, and can this team be consistent on both sides of the football to get themselves atop that AFC East crown, which they were one win away in 2023 from becoming the AFC East division champion when they lost to the Bills? So at the end of the day, can Tua be consistent all season? Tyreek Hill, we know what he can do. Jalen Waddle, can he be healthy and consistent? Can the running back room be consistent? Can that defense not let down later in the year? And can they stay healthy? The main thing with the Dolphins going into the year is, can we see some consistency from this team? Because they start out high and then we start to see them fade away. So the storyline is, can they stay consistent all season long? The Buffalo Bills is, can they remain atop the AFC East with the many departures on both sides of the football. Now, we're talking about a Buffalo Bills team, which I have been personally high on basically the last 3 to 4 years. This team is minus Stefon Diggs. This team is minus Tre'Davious White. This team is minus Jordan Poyer. And over the last couple of years, they've been minus Tremaine Edmonds. Von Miller has not been the player that they really signed him to be. Can this team remain up top, or has that Super Bowl window close on the Buffalo Bills? You still have Josh Allen, so I think anything is possible when you have one of the more top-tier quarterbacks in the league. And his problem has been, can he be a guy that does not turn the football over? Can he be the guy that takes care of the football and remains consistent? And can the running game get going? Is this team built to stay atop of the AFC East? That is the storyline for the Buffalo Bills heading into 2024. Now for the AFC North. And for the Bengals, I think it's simple. Can the Bengals get back to the top with a healthy Joe Burrow? Now, Joe Burrow had some injury histories last year, and he's had them throughout his career with his torn ACL this rookie year, and he had some nicks and knacks, and last year was the calf, and then the wrist injury that ended up costing him the season. We could tell this team's play was not the same. Now, they did lose Tyler Boyd in free agency, but they still have the pairing of Burrow and Chase, and they still have T. Higgins for the moment. We're still waiting to see how that situation works out, but they did lose a guy like Joe Mixon, who has been a really good part of this Bengals team the last couple of years. For the Bengals, we know that defense has been consistently decent. With Trey Hendrickson, they bring back Von Bell. Can this defense remain consistent enough? And can this offense get back to form? And can this team get back to form with Joe Burrow back in the fold and health? Now we're going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and can Justin Fields / Russell Wilson improve this team offensively? Because we seen with Kenny Pickett last year, it struggled. We seen with Mason Rudolph at times it struggled. Mitchell Trubisky last year, it struggled. Can Justin Fields from The Ohio State University, Russell Wilson remain consistent in this offense and improve it? Because the quarterback play was something from the Steelers that, let's just be honest, wasn't necessarily great. And you have a defense led by Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, and Minka Fitzpatrick, 3 of their top at their positions in the NFL. And you have George Pickens coming back. So can this Steelers team get better offensively with either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, depending on who wins the starting job? How is the quarterback play going to look for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024? For the Cleveland Browns is, can Deshaun Watson return back to form? Now, Deshaun Watson, ever since 2020, we know he's dealt with the off-the-field issues that's kept him off the field. Last year, he had the shoulder injury that kept him out for majority of the year. And we've seen what this Browns team was able to do with consistent and better quarterback play when we're talking about what Joe Flacco did towards the last half of this 2024 season. So we're talking about a Cleveland Browns team with the defense led by reigning Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward from The Ohio State University. Can this team offensively, can Deshaun Watson offensively with Amari Cooper, with Jerry Jeudy, who they traded from the Denver Broncos, and with the Nick Chubb possibly coming back healthy, can this team with Deshaun Watson, and mainly Deshaun Watson, can he go back to form to where he was pre-COVID with 2019 and 2020 seasons? Can he go back to where he was then? Can he live up to the contract that they ended up paying? With the Baltimore Ravens, the storyline for them coming into the year is, can this team get themselves over the hump? Now, Lamar Jackson, we all seen how things looked in that AFC Championship game, and it did not look well for them offensively, which I think was his reluctance to really run the football. And defensively, they've lost some names over the last couple of years. Mainly, last year they lost Patrick Queen when he ended up signing with the rival Pittsburgh Steelers. Can this team get over the hump? Zay Flowers had a really good 2023 rookie season, and they add Derrick Henry to the backfield to pair with Lamar. I still think this Baltimore Ravens team offensively and defensively are set up to be successful. Defensively led by Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, and those guys. So I still think this team defensively can be well. It's just, can this team build off their regular season success that they've been having, and can they succeed in the playoffs and get over the hump and get themselves to a Super Bowl? I think that is the storyline for the Ravens heading into 2024. Now we're going to switch to the AFC South division, and with the last place last year, Tennessee Titans, can Will Levis progress into 2024 going forward? Now, the Titans, defensively, they did get L'Jarius Sneed in a trade from the Kansas City Chiefs, so that should be a little bit more improved. But I think in year two, with moves that they made, the signing of Tyler Boyd, the signing of Calvin Ridley, they have DeAndre Hopkins back in the fold, they signed Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys, and can Will Levis in year two continue to grow and continue to elevate this football team? We still think the Tennessee Titans are not a very good football team as far as competing for a playoff spot, but can this team take steps forward along with Will Levis? Can he make a jump in year two of his NFL career to where we can have some belief in this Tennessee Titans team in the future? So I think this year for the Titans is, can Will Levis take a step in year two? For the Indianapolis Colts, how will Anthony Richardson fare after the injury? Now, he missed majority of his rookie year. I think the year two of the Colts, I still think you have some good players with DeForest Buckner on the defensive side, Kenny Moore on the defensive side, Michael Pittman Jr. on offense. I still think this year two for Anthony Richardson is going to be very important because we didn't see a lot of him, basically almost none of him in his rookie year, with he missing basically almost all of the year due to the shoulder injury. So year two is, how will Anthony Richardson, number one, be recovered, and two, can we see growth in Anthony Richardson going forward? Now, this Indianapolis Colts team really surprised some people last year who were very close to winning the division title with Gardner Minshew leading the charge. So assuming Anthony Richardson is healthy, how can he lead this team, and how much better can we see Anthony Richardson play as is almost his rookie season in year two, basically, of his NFL career? And the Jacksonville Jaguars storyline is, can they bounce back from that 2023 collapse? Because this Jacksonville Jaguars team is not one of those teams that we thought were going to be out of the playoffs in 2023. It ended up that way. They added Eric Armstead. They did lose Calvin Ridley, but they added Gabe Davis to go along with Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne, and Trevor Lawrence. I think we have to see him play consistently better in 2024 than we saw in 2023, where he really wasn't himself for the latter half of the season, and neither was his team with Josh Allen rushing the quarterback, and they added Ronald Darby on the defensive side of the ball. So can this Jacksonville Jaguars team, number one, be consistent? And can they bounce themselves back into AFC South contention with the collapse that they had in 2023? And can this team mentally regroup and get themselves back to where they were supposed to be? Now we're going to talk about the Houston Texans. Can this team be legit Super Bowl contenders? Now, C.J. Stroud from The Ohio State University had an amazing rookie season and one of the best rookie seasons that we've ever seen in NFL history. And to add to the weapons that he had in 2023, they added Stefon Diggs. They added Joe Mixon to pair with Nico Collins and to compare with Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz at that tight end position. And when they have one of the best left tackles in football with Laramie Tunsil. And then on the defensive side of the ball, led by head coach DeMeco Ryans, Will Anderson Jr., P. Trey, Derek Stingley Jr. This team is set up to be a very successful team in 2024. And can C.J. Stroud take that next step and continue to progress and continue to get better? And can this team, with the roster that they built, can they be a legit Super Bowl contender heading into 2024? Now we're going to move to the AFC West. And the Los Angeles Chargers is, can Jim Harbaugh be the difference of this football team? Now, we know this Chargers team has basically been in some salary cap hell with the trading of Keenan Allen to the Bears, the releasing of Mike Williams. Austin Eckler is no longer in the door, but they did add J.K. Dobbins from The Ohio State University. So we're going to think about this Chargers team that drafted Joe Alt to help on this offensive line. Rashawn Slater coming back healthy. Can Jim Harbaugh be the difference on this football team? Can this defense stay healthy? Joey Bosa, can he stay healthy? It's basically, can Jim Harbaugh be the difference that this football team had potential the last couple of years and they never reached it? Can hiring Jim Harbaugh be the difference between this team failing to reach their potential and reaching the potential that they have in 2024? For the Denver Broncos, who will start at quarterback? You have Bo Nix, who they drafted. You have Zach Wilson, who they traded for in the offseason, and Jarrett Stidham. And to be honest, you guys leave your thoughts in the comments. Is this the worst quarterback room in the NFL? I would think so. But either way it goes, with Sean Payton at the helm, who will start at quarterback? Because that is the biggest question. Bo Nix, I still think needs some developing. Zach Wilson, the Broncos took a chance on him. Is he going to be the guy? Are they going to give him some go? And Jarrett Stidham, or are they going to go with him just because he's a veteran? Who will start for this Denver Broncos team at quarterback? You have Patrick Surtain on the defensive side of the ball. You have Cortland Sutton at wide receiver. This roster, I can say, is not the best roster. They traded Jerry Jeudy. They have a solid offensive line. They did play a little bit better at the latter half of the year. But the question is, who will be the quarterback of the Denver Broncos? And we're going to go to the Las Vegas Raiders, and that is the same question that they had. Who will be the quarterback for the Raiders? Will it be Gardner Minshew? Will it be Aiden O'Connell? Now, I will personally go with Gardner Minshew because during his rookie year, I really didn't see enough from Aiden O'Connell to give him the range at that starting quarterback position. I thought the Raiders would have probably made a move this offseason where they tried to move up in the draft to select one of the top quarterbacks. Maybe they moved up to try to get Michael Penix Jr. Maybe they get J.J. McCarthy. But the Broncos were ahead of him in the draft, and the Broncos took Bo Nix before they can fall to the Raiders. So I think that was a plan. They ended up drafting Brock Bowers. They have Devontae Adams. Will he ask out? That could be another subplot storyline. But we're talking about this Raiders team. Who will be their quarterback heading into 2024? And last but not least, the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Can they three-peat? That is the biggest storyline for them because even though they lost L'Jarius Sneed, they still have Chris Jones. They did lose Willie Gay. They still have the best quarterback in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes. We're going to question what happens with Rashee Rice and his off-the-field things, but they did add Hollywood Brown. Isaiah Pacheco has been a really good running back for them the last 2 years. Well, especially last year, later on in that playoffs. So, and you still have Travis Kelce. So, at the end of the day, with Andy Reid leading the charge, can this team three-peat? Because we saw last year with the Chiefs we thought this team, honestly, didn't have enough to make it back. We thought this team would not make it back to the Super Bowl. They made it back and won back-to-back. So you cannot count out the Kansas City Chiefs. You cannot count out Patrick Mahomes. You cannot count out Andy Reid and the way he's leading the charge. Is this team going to three-peat? Is the storyline for the Chiefs. But leave your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Did I miss anything? Do you have anything to add? Leave your thoughts in the comments and comment what team that you're a fan of. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next Sunday, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.